Hello students, in this video I am going to discuss about the multiple choice question which is given by Department of State Educational and Research Training, Bengaluru. These questions are mentioned in lesson based assessment material, that is called LBA, and in this video I am going to solve the multiple choice question of the chapter 1 Chemical Reaction and Equation from class 10. So question number 1. An example for chemical change among the following is, the options are A. Dissolving salt in water, B. Tearing the paper, C. Rusting of iron, and D. Boiling of water. See here in the question they are given about the chemical change. Chemical change is nothing but the change where the new materials or the new compounds are formed or the new things are formed. So your correct option is rusting of iron. In rusting of iron, the oxide of iron is formed. Question number 2. This is not a property of chemical reaction among the following. Option A, change in color, release of heat. Option C, change in shape, and D, release of gas. If you see these three options, that is change in color, release of heat, release of gas, these all are the properties of chemical reaction. But change in shape is not a property of chemical reaction. So your right answer is C. That is change in shape. In question number 3, an equation is given, that is Fe2O3 plus 2Al, which gives Al2O3 plus 2Fe. And the question is, the above chemical reaction is an example for, 4 options are A. Combination reaction, B. Composition reaction, C. Displacement reaction, and D. Double displacement reaction. As you know, in combination reaction, 2 reactants combine to form one product. In decomposition, it is a reverse of combination reaction, that is a single reactant split into 2 or more compounds. In displacement reaction, high reactive element displaces the low reactive element or the material from its solution. In double displacement reaction, there will be an exchange of ions. So if you see this reaction, here aluminium is replacing the iron from Fe2O3. So here iron is displaced. That's why the C option, displacement reaction, is the right answer, because this is the example for displacement reaction. Question number 4. The group of reactants among the following which react with each other to exchange ions and form a precipitate is, 4 options are barium chloride and sodium sulfate, aluminum oxide and hydrochloric acid, sodium hydroxide and H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, and Na2O and the carbon dioxide. See the question. Here exchange of ions is given, that is the double displacement reaction where the white color precipitate or the precipitate is formed. If you see the option A, barium chloride and the sodium sulfate, if you mix these two compounds, you will get barium sulfate as a white color precipitate. Also you will get sodium chloride. Your correct answer is the A, barium chloride and sodium sulfate. If you see the option B, Al2O3 and the HCl, this will be the example for amphoteric reaction. If you see the option B, here Al2O3 is the amphoteric oxide which react with the acid. So this will be the example for amphoteric reaction. If you see the C option, sodium hydroxide and another is the acid. So base plus acid is there. So this will be the example for neutralization reaction. And if you see the option D, here metallic oxide and carbon dioxide is there. Metallic oxide is the basic in nature and non-metallic oxide is the acidic in nature. So this will be the acid-base reaction. Question number 5. The evolution of oxygen and the hydrogen gases in the electrolysis of water is, option A, double displacement reaction, exothermic reaction, displacement reaction, and the decomposition reaction. See, in this reaction, that is the evolution or the electrolysis of water, you can see that hydrogen gas and the oxygen gas will be separated. So this will be the example for decomposition reaction. So D is the right answer. Question number 6. The chemical reaction that takes place when reactant exchange their ions mutually is. So exchange of ions means the reaction that is called double displacement reaction. So option A is the right answer. Question number 7. CuO, that is copper oxide, reacts with the hydrogen gas and gives the Cu plus H2O. The question is, in this reaction, the reactants that undergo oxidation and reduction respectively are. As you know, in oxidation, an element gets the oxygen atom, or you can say gaining of oxygen. In reduction, a compound which loses the oxygen. So here, in this reaction, H2, that is hydrogen gas, react with the oxygen and forms the H2O. So H2 undergo oxidation, and CuO, copper oxide, here copper loses the oxygen atom and become copper. So CuO undergo reduction. So correct answer is, that is H2 plus CuO. H2 undergo oxidation and copper oxide undergo reduction. So B will be the right answer. In question number 8, silver nitrate turns into grey color in the presence of sunlight because silver chloride decomposes to form silver, silver chloride decomposes to form chlorine, silver chloride undergoes oxidation, and the D answer is silver chloride undergoes reduction. If you see the C and D answer or the option, here silver chloride undergo oxidation and reduction is given, which is not correct one. If you see the A and B, both answer will be the correct one, but if you keenly observe the question, it is given silver nitrate turns into grey color. So when silver chloride decomposes and to form the silver, this silver will be the responsible for the grey color. That's why the A option will be the correct one. Question number 9. The ratio of hydrogen and oxygen gases released in the electrolysis of water is. Option A, hydrogen and oxygen ratio will be 1:2. Oxygen and hydrogen ratio will be 2:3. Hydrogen and oxygen ratio will be 2:1, and oxygen and hydrogen ratio will be 3:2. As you know, the formula for water molecule is H2O. So here hydrogen 2 atom is present and oxygen 1 molecule will be present. So 2:1 is the ratio for the water molecules. Means hydrogen should be 2 and oxygen should be 1. If you see the C answer or the C option, that is given hydrogen and oxygen ratio will be 2:1. So C will be the right answer. Moving to the 10th question. The conversion of vegetable waste into compost is an example for reduction reaction, exothermic reaction, endothermic reaction, and the redox reaction. When the conversion of vegetable waste takes place, the heat will be liberated. So it will be the exothermic reaction. So B will be the correct answer here. Question number 11. The gas released at the cathode in the electrolysis of water is oxygen, hydrogen, chlorine, and the nitrogen. Here chlorine and nitrogen will be the wrong answer because there will be no chlorine and nitrogen will be formed when the electrolysis of water takes place. If you see the oxygen and the hydrogen, at the cathode end you can find the hydrogen gas, and at the anode end you can find the oxygen gas. See, cathode end will be the negative end of the battery or the cell, and the anode will be the positive end of the battery or the cell. And as you know, hydrogen forms the positive ion, so it will be released at the cathode end. And oxygen forms the negative ion, so it will be released at the positive end. For the simple tricks, you can remember like this. Cathode means kya and hydrogen means high. So if you remember kya hai, then you can easily write that at the cathode end hydrogen will be formed. Kya hai, that you should be remember. So moving to the 12th question, identify the chemical equation in which the chemical reaction takes place in the following. Dear student, this question will be regarding the displacement reaction. As you know that only highly reactive metal or the element or the material which displaces the low reactive element from its solution. So you should find out here which one is the highly reactive and which one is the low reactive one. For that purpose, you should learn about the reactivity series. Here correct answer is the C, that is AgNO3 plus Cu gives CuNO3 twice plus Ag. Let's see why this one is the correct answer. If you see the reactivity series, first potassium will come, after that sodium, calcium, magnesium, then after aluminium, zinc, iron and the lead, then copper, mercury, then silver and the gold. This shows the decreasing order of the reactivity of metal. If you see the first option, here Pb is displacing the iron from iron sulfate. But if you see the reactivity series, Pb is less reactive than the iron. So this reaction will not take place. If you see the B option, iron is displacing the zinc from zinc sulfate. Now come to the reactivity series, iron is less reactive than the zinc. So this reaction will also not take place. If you see the D option, here copper is displacing lead from the lead chloride. That is not possible because copper is less reactive than the lead. If you see the third option, here copper is displacing silver from the silver nitrate, which is possible because copper is more reactive than the silver. So here C option will be the right answer. Dear student, here one correction that you have to make, that Ag means silver comes before the Au, that is gold. So Ag should be here and after that Au should come. So this is very important question. Most of the question from this lesson asked on the basis of the reactivity series of the metal. So I will give one small easy method to remember this reactivity series, that you should remember the first word of all these metals. That is, potassium stands for Po and sodium stands for So, calcium is Kya and the magnesium is the Me. So Po, So, Kya, Me, that you have to remember. Aluminium Alu, zinc Z, then iron, that is ferrous, then the lead Le. So Aluzifele, that word you should be remember, Aluzifele. Then after copper is Co and mercury Mer, that is Mer, and then silver C and gold Go. So Co Meri Si Go. So Po So Kya Me, Aluzifele, Co Meri Si Go. If you remember these three words, then easily you can write the reactivity series of the metal and you can solve this type of questions. Moving to the 13th question. When dilute hydrochloric acid is added to iron fillings. So here acid is added to the iron fillings means metal is react with the acid. When metal is react with the acid, a gas is liberated, that is the hydrogen gas, and salt of the metal will be formed. So here correct answer is hydrogen gas is formed and iron chlorides are produced. Because here hydrochloric acid is there, so iron chloride will be formed. If you are taking sulfuric acid, then iron sulfate will be one of the product with the hydrogen gas. 14th question. The metal that displaces copper from copper sulfate, means here copper is displacing, so the given metal should be more reactive than the copper. Gold, silver, copper. We see gold and silver, these are less reactive than the copper. Even the copper is given, so copper can't displaces the copper from its copper sulfate solution. If you see the iron, which is more reactive than the copper, so iron will be the correct answer, which displaces the copper from copper sulfate solution. Ferrous sulfate crystals lose their green color when heated because this compound breaks down into simple compounds, loses water molecule, releases sulfur dioxide gas, produces brown smoke. If you see the D option, produces brown smoke, so in this reaction there is no production of brown smoke, so this will be the wrong answer. If you see the C option, releases the sulfur dioxide, when the decomposition of ferrous sulfate takes place, then sulfur gas will be formed. But in the question they are given the responsible for the loss of their green color. So this will not the correct answer to lose the green color of the ferrous sulfate. If you see the A option, down into simpler compounds. Yes, of course, when ferrous sulfate crystals break down, they will be break down into simple compounds. But which is not exact reason for to lose their green color. If you see the B option, when ferrous sulfate is undergo decomposition, it loses water molecules. When it loses the water molecules, the green color also disappears. So, the reason to lose their green color, ferrous sulfate loses the water molecule. Hence, B will be the right answer here. Question number 16. Chip manufacturers flush bags of chips with nitrogen gas because to prevent corrosion, to prevent oxidation, to cause corrosion, to prevent reduction. To prevent the oxidation, this will be the correct answer because the oil or fat which is present in the chips which undergo oxidation and it undergo rancid. So, to prevent rancidity or to prevent oxidation, nitrogen gas is added to the chips packets. So, here B will be the correct answer. Question number 17. The chemical reaction in the iron undergoes corrosion is iron undergo corrosion. This is a form of oxidation reaction. It is the combination reaction and it is the redox reaction. In option B, displacement and redox reaction is given, and in option D, displacement and oxidation reaction is given. So corrosion of iron is not a displacement reaction. So both the option will be wrong. If you see the A option, combination and redox reaction is given, which is true, which is correct. If you see the C option, redox and the oxidation reaction is given. This is also correct one. If you want to choose any one answer from A and C, if you see the C, redox and the oxidation reaction is given. In the redox reaction, you can find the oxidation reaction also. So this will be not the accurate one. If you find the accurate answer, then A will be the accurate and the correct answer because the reaction of iron undergoes corrosion is the combination reaction as well as redox reaction. So A will be the correct answer. Number 18. Manganese oxide react with the hydrochloric acid and forms manganese chloride, water and chlorine gas. Here, oxidized and reduced compound in this reaction respectively are hydrogen from the hydrochloric acid which gets the oxygen atom. So HCl will be oxidized, which is given in the option B. In the reduction reaction, a reactant loses the oxygen, means here manganese oxide loses the oxygen atom and forms manganese chloride. So if you see the B option, HCl and MnO2 is given. So this will be the right answer. Question number 19. In this question, unbalanced equation is given, that is PbNO3 twice gives PbO, nitrogen oxide and oxygen. And question is that when this equation is balanced, the number of atoms at position A, B, C, D respectively, if you see the balanced reaction, 2, 2, 4, 1 will be the correct answer because when you are balanced, here 2 should come, 2 PbNO3 twice, then 2 PbO should come, then 4 NO2 and O2 should come here. Student, this is all about the multiple choice question which is given in the LBA question bank regarding the lesson chemical reaction and equation. In my next video, we will discuss about the next lesson, that is acid, base and the salt. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel, share with your friends and give your likes to my video and keep watching. Thank you.